I wake up to the same old fight, chasing shadows in the night. Promises made, but I let them fade. Caught in the cycle, I'm feeling betrayed. Round and round, I'm losing ground. Trying to break free, but I can't see. These negative patterns are haunting me. Nights turn to days, I'm losing my way. Thought I found peace, but it's led me astray. Chasing the high, but it only brings pain. The more I run, the less I gain.
Hey everybody, hey, and welcome to another session of Tarika Said Again. Today, we want to get back to the root of things, Addictive Patterns. You all know this award-winning book, and it was built off of relationship failure. We've been talking about addictive patterns in so many different facets, so many different professionals, so many different occupations, and we've always tied it back to addictive patterns and the addictive behaviors that either have made us successful as an individual or unsuccessful. Getting right into it, addictive patterns. This book talks about relationships, all type relationships, not just those romantic relationships, but also the relationships that you cultivated as a child with your parents, or I like to say the lack of relationship that you had with your parents. You hear often people talk about the traumas and the various tragedies that have taken place in their lives. No matter what, I always try to not only talk about negative, but talk about positive, talk about coping strategies, things to try to correct or rectify the negative. So this book was dedicated, or I like to say, giving thanks to all who contributed to the valleys and the peaks of my life experiences, whatever that looks like. Rather my baby daddy, rather my ex-husband, or anybody before them. But not just, again, romantic relationships. It could be those work relationships that you had with your employer. You might have been fired, falsely accused of something, or maybe did something that was your fault, but somehow you didn't comply with the work ethics. It could be an old friend, right? You think about different ones throughout your life that have come and gone, no longer you consider to be a friend. That's what we call, there's a time and a place for a season for a person to come into your life. So that friend, you might have simply just outgrew them. You on a different level, or maybe they on a different level. Y'all don't see eye to eye no more. So again, relationships, any type relationship, this book deals with that. I like to think about Ariana Grande and her song, Thank You, Next. Thank you, next. Thank you. Next. Yes. Moving on. Now we're going to reach back into this book because I've been listening, you all. I've been reading some of the DMs and people wanting to know more about this book and relationships. So for the next couple of weeks, we're going to be dealing with relationships. I want you to tap in. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions, your experiences on different relationships that you've had throughout life. And one thing about it, this is nothing new. People have failed relationships since forever. This is nothing new. It's been happening for decades, centuries, taking it all the way back to the Bible. Yes, nothing new. But it's a matter of how you deal with them. Okay? That's where it becomes critical. It becomes serious because you have people wanting to deaden their lives. They want to be done with it because of relationships, because of them feeling like they can't go on. And that's where it becomes detrimental to the psyche. And that's what we want to correct. The behavior, the thought process, your emotions, being able to control them when someone disappoints you or when somebody have simply wronged you. Yes, you get upset. Yes, 38 hot. You might want to get revenge. But is it really worth it? Is it worth your freedom? Is it worth someone losing their lives? Is it worth your sanity? Those are questions that you want to ask yourself. We're going to step back into the chapter, figuratively and literally, for a moment. We're going to assess the situation. Are you doing better since your breakup, or are you doing worse since your breakup? Now, a lot of times people stay in relationships because of fear of the unknown, because they feel that they can't do without the person, because they don't know any better. There's a plethora of reasons of why people stay. Finance plays a big role. They simply can't afford to make it on their own. They need the other person financial support or psychological support, whatever that looks like. My motto has always been, and I've known and witnessed, when something is taken from you or you lose something, you get it back. Always. Even though it's difficult to let go. As you all say, let go, let God. But are you really allowing your creator to guide you? Or are you still continuing trying to hold on to something that's not doing you any good? That's not something that's not allowing you to grow as an individual. Research shows, it says, for as long as humans have walked the earth, survival has depended on a delicate balance between two opposing strategies. Carefully, staying with the familiar or venturing into the unknown. I just said those uncertainties. These familiar places provided a sense of stability and security. So that goes to staying, with what's familiar, leaving what you consider to be stable or what you think, because it might not. You might not be mentally stable. You home worried, not only worried, but wondering where he or she is, what they're doing. Are you really secure in your relationship? Yet clinging too tightly to them carried risks. So they're saying it still could be a risk. Resources could dry up. The environment could shift, definitely. What you once knew changes abruptly, or competitors might overrun those same grounds. Wow, they say competitors. And that's one thing, I never wanted to feel like I was competing with anybody. Either I'm going to be your number one, your wife, or that's it. Ain't no number two. Number one, that's it. Make me feel as such. Let me know as such. And they gave examples like we return to maybe our favorite restaurant for comfort. But sometimes we take a leap and try new places, hoping for a discovery or a brace for disappointment. So that's just an example when we talk about the psychological or the neuroscience of it, with wanting to stick with what's familiar versus taking that leap of faith or moving forward if you find that it's no longer good for you, no longer valid or healthy. Because that's a key point. Healthy relationships is what you want, not anything that's causing you to lose weight, not anything where you're becoming depressed or anxiety setting in, staying up late nights, worrying. That's not healthy. So it's healthy or unhealthy. You have to decide which one is for you. But reassurance that if you let go, something will come that's better. And it could be that person coming back willing and ready to retry, to get it right, the relationship that you once had. And that's a blessing if it works out like that. But if not, embracing the new, looking forward to what that brings. Think about it when you get a new job, right? Because it's like you're sad, upset, you might have lost a job, but your next job, even better than what you had. You might have more benefits. You got a 401k to go with it now. Whereas before, you didn't have that. You might have paid time off. Whereas before, you didn't have that. Think about that new house. You might have got a better deal on it. Or maybe it's bigger, more spacious now. It's more accommodating for your family. Think about that new car. Oh, it's electrical, or it has all the bells and whistles. You got electric windows. You have seat warmers. The steering wheel warms up. Those are things that made losing those various things that we spoke on that much sweeter or that much better. And simply just having faith and knowing that it's going to be better. That's it. I think it's the psychological, the mindset, having faith and knowing that I have to go through this trial. I have to be tested, but knowing that I'm going to come out better on the other side. Just in talking about this, right? Because as I said, I was reading some of the comments and people wanted me to get back to relationships, how this came about. But I was like, oh, for me, that's low vibrational because I feel like I'm past that. But in knowing that addictive patterns came for that, I will always have to talk about it. I'll always have to discuss it. The behaviors, not the person per se. If I can detach that person or persons from the behavior, I would. But sorry, you was a part of it. But not only that, you're not the only person that have demonstrated these type behaviors. Listen, I think going back and reflecting, and that's one thing in my book, you all know I have self-reflection questions where you can actually go in and answer these questions. Ask yourself, have you ever experienced this? Have you been guilty of this, right? Because we all know that no one is perfect. Yes, we can point the finger at someone, but taking ownership and knowing that, hey, I was a contributor as well. Because at the end of the day, it's a matter of finding that person that is suitable for you, that fits you, that's aligned with you. If they're not any of those things, you will forever have difficulty. You will forever have heartache. You will forever have hardships. And I feel like relationships shouldn't be hard. Yes, you're going to go through things that are hard as far as life and those obstacles that are put before you. But as far as simply communicating with your partner, that shouldn't be difficult. So getting back to reflecting on the past, and anybody that know me, I'm not big on looking back. In this book I talk about looking back at the past. No, that's not what we want to do. We want to continue to move forward, but reflecting on some of those things, seeing how you have grown as an individual in hopes that you have leveled up. Being able to recognize those things that maybe back then you allowed to happen or you overlooked, but now you see it, you recognize it. You don't think twice about even entertaining those things that maybe when you was younger, you're able to identify those signs. You're able to when it comes to red flags. Like, nah, I'm good, sir. Or I'm good, ma'am. No thanks. I want to read one excerpt before closing out from my book, Understanding Patterns. And y'all know again, the title of my book is Addictive Patterns. Understanding patterns will help you understand life. If you pay close attention, history only repeats itself. I told y'all in the beginning, failed relationships isn't nothing new. Yep, your mama experienced it. Your grandma experienced it. Yep, your daddy and your granddaddy did too. They've experienced failed relationships. But it's a matter of, did you grow from them? Did you learn from them? Did you try to correct them? If you made a mistake, did you try to correct it? Or did you continue with your old ways? Hey, it is what it is. Either she or he gonna accept it or not. If you pay close attention, history only repeats itself. What we call chaos is patterns we haven't recognized. And what we call random is just patterns we can't decipher. In other words, we can't put our finger on it. Thanks for listening. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Have a good one.